Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are getting back to Peaky Blinders Season 6. Ooh, we're on Episode 2. This one's called Black Shirt. Uncle Jack's taking a trip to London, and Tommy is moving the chess pieces. Michael's still in prison. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Just when we think that Tommy outkicked his coverage, goes and gets it again, and I'm ready, willing, and able to see what he's got in store now in this episode.
Yeah, the scheming, the plotting, the game of chess, it quite literally never ends for Tommy Shelby, but hey, we're here for the final season. Can't wait to see what happens.
No limits. No limits.
No limitations.
Just like this reaction, no limits. Let's go!
And one of you will die.
You've been too busy to punish the people who killed her. How is the family?
Well, Ruby seems fine.
Hello, Ruby.
So it's just a slight fever.
Wow, it's not like he got home in 6 hours. He had to get on a boat.
There's the necklace.
What presents did you get us, Dad?
She's all better, Tommy. Came back from nothing.
No, he didn't.
Glad you're back.
Came back for family.
Right.
The man with
Before
green
we do
eyes.
anything else, we're gonna go for a drive, okay? Let's go.
Me?
Yeah, you come too. Come on.
Oh, yeah, you.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you at home.
That's the driver takes us to see Dr. Robert. Let's have a look at Ruby.
Fine.
Appointment is in 1 hour. Stay here, you can come. Right, let's go.
They were doing that Boulder Gray a long time before it became popular again a few years ago, right?
Dude, I'm really digging how they keep putting urgency into this.
I like the trunk.
Yeah,
It's
Lizzie's.
literally a trunk.
It's literally a trunk.
That's
That's how
awesome.
it got its name, the trunk.
Well, the boot.
The boot trunk.
Oh, man. Oh, that was established in 1930, though. I was thinking it was one with Grace.
Uh-oh.
Oh. So a couple things. Could that be health or could that be just nerves?
Nerves.
I think nerves, because he's...
It was all good. Everything was clear.
That is a relief. That's a relief.
Yeah.
Drivers bring the car around.
Dude, this music.
Ruby, do you want to tell me more about what you were saying?
When did you last sleep?
Not much, since we last spoke on the phone.
Now you know Ruby is all clear. You can sleep.
Yeah.
Well,
Got a few other things I got brewing.
I will speak to Johnny, and I will speak to Esmeralda.
Esmeralda.
We could be on holiday. We could be up a mountain in America.
That wouldn't have been possible. The man I'm dealing with, he's coming to London. I need to be there.
No escape.
nope.
We will escape, Lizzie.
It's never done.
One last deal to be done.
One
Last deal, then Tahiti.
Do you feel that? Do you feel anything? You know, you talk as if you're watching everything on a screen.
This sound is interesting.
When we go home, we'll give the kids to Francis, and then you and me will go to bed.
And I will be the next item.
Check box.
The hell was that?
That's glass breaking.
Well, like, what caused all that?
Tommy!
Oh!
Oh my God.
Shit.
Oh, he's having a seizure.
What's happening?
A seizure or just a terrible nightmare?
Ooh. That was a lot of glass.
It is 4 years, 1 month and 6 days since I had a drink. My head is clear. I am myself.
This is the first time.
Once on the ship back. Not as bad.
Oh,
It's
damn.
got to be from what he heard from Ruby.
You need to see a doctor.
And all his PTSD is coming back too.
It's the work that's to blame.
That's why he
People you meet, the lies that you tell.
Well, that's why he wants to get it done, though, too.
It's
We're
never
gonna keep going
done.
until this Boston
I know.
business is done. Then we rest.
Always another job. There's always something else that happens.
You soldiers who have fought in France, you are traitors if you speak up. You veterans of their wars and their booms and their busts, it is you who must take the blows and carry the burdens for the sake of those in greener pastures who bellow at you. Silence!
No, boo!
I will not be silent.
Not this Englishman.
Yeah!
Tommy knows how to work a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You're silent for me because I have heard your voices when you come to me and tell me about the cries of your hungry children. And I will gather up every single one of those cries and I will take them with me on the train back to Westminster. And I will let them out of the bag in the House of Commons and let them try and silence that, eh?
These episodes had just been intense. We had the heavy emotion in episode 1.
Oh, look at
Helen and everything.
Laura.
And now we get,
IRA.
Yep.
Hush, you working men and women. Silence. Good. Save your voices. You're gonna need them.
On Saturday when we rally together at the Bullring Market and together we'll raise the roof. Break the damn silence and bring down this broken government.
Oh, just
so
Working
I know you asked, like, what happened to his politics. Remember
Yep,
what happened at
here
the
we
end
are.
of season 5 there.
Yep.
That got pushed into full gear. And he couldn't really break away from that.
Yep.
So
Old McKee and the Shelby family. Business comes before issues of vengeance. My beloved departed would understand and approve. Scarboys,
Our agreement was we meet in a crowded place.
not need for crowds. We need you alive.
for now.
After you.
well, if that wasn't a warning, which she understood,
Yep.
but
Oh, back at the distillery.
No, Mr. Shelby, even though we've been doing business for a while, we've never met in person. You spoke with passion and compassion. You understand forgiveness. And you drink water. Yet I heard from many reliable sources that you have a reputation for moral turpitude.
Moral turpitude.
Need my dictionary.
Moral turpitude.
I gotta write that down.
It's a good name for a racehorse.
Yeah, there we go.
Came to collect Arthur and put him to bed.
Oh boy.
Found him in Garrison Lane with a syringe in his hand.
God damn.
Is that why he was wearing gloves?
A friend loves it all time. Brother is born for adversity.
Oh, what a line.
1717.
Well, I have two brothers in need. But yours is the more urgent, Tommy. Will you come with me?
So, Laura McKee, you gonna help me change the world?
Mr. Shelby, this meeting is not what I expected.
Wow.
Never is.
A lot of people have been saying that to Tommy. Are you
My
in?
answer is yes.
I was going to say, where's that shoulder
Yeah.
Yes.
that she
Always
promised in
yes.
episode 1?
My answer's always yes.
Yep.
Back door's unlocked. You can let yourself out and tell your friends back home. Tommy Shelby has changed.
He has leveled up.
Where are you, Tom? My big brother? You know, you used to stop sometimes and laugh. Do you even remember this place? You walk into the garrison like a stranger and you sip water.
I'm alive, Ada.
And you're still looking for trouble big enough to kill you. Wow. I think you might have found it.
I mean, we're in it. We're in it now, Tommy.
Big
I have
time.
children, Tommy. You have to carry this bucket on your own.
Everybody's got kids.
Well,
One brother half dead in the rain in Garrison Alley, and the other has no limitations.
There it is. Again.
I like how they added the train tracks over the Garrison to show time passing and technology.
Mm-hmm. Man, this...
No, it's still deemed the bottom of the city, too, where they are.
Yep.
Where they're in the trenches.
I mean, I would never talk that way about the lovely city. That's answer, so...
I'm just saying.
Send your...
Expected.
That's what it signifies.
Are we getting Tom Hardy?
Oh, he can't be still alive, you think? 4 years after the shape he was in?
He's got to be.
Oh, Nessun Dorma. I don't know a lot of this type of music, but this one I know.
I mean, he mentioned the Solomon's
Solomon's no
family.
longer tolerates the smoking of tobacco in his presence.
Okay, there we go.
Tommy doesn't drink.
What kind of shape is Alfie going to be in?
Alfie doesn't allow smoking.
Is he going to be looking like our grandsire?
This music, big build up.
Yeah, this song is just incredibly powerful.
Were you not told I have a condition?
Well, I was told, Alfie, is that you have withdrawn, that you spend your days alone, obsessing about opera singers.
Opera's not singing, is it? It's not singing, it's the sound that people make before word. And I do not allow smoking because I do need to see clearly. All right?
You need favours, Alfie?
I need a final act, right? Just a final act for my opera. Yeah?
Alfie, I think I may have written your final act.
Ooh.
Why don't you sit down and have a listen, eh?
Man, watching these two work is just a treat.
It's fun. It's fun. Love the setting.
It's like a damn leg lamp.
Except it's missing the leg.
In the final act that I'm giving you, Alfie, is you who takes the revenge.
What would you sell?
The Irish are being difficult. The Italians are not an option. Also, Alfie, you are my friend.
Did you give me credit?
No.
How come you can remember so much about what happened 200 years ago, but you just can't remember what happened last night? How much is a ton?
How much is the ton?
That whole story to get around to how much is a ton?
Yeah. We're going to go from A to B, but in a really long way.
Jack says a few more weeks, and you'll be free.
When do you travel to
They got
London?
quite the nice room for him there, I'll say that.
Tomorrow.
No.
I came to say goodbye.
When you go to London, stay away from the devil. Lock it as if you have to.
I'll be with you, Michael. I've been thinking about you.
Uh-oh.
Only you. And don't worry about Tommy Shelby. I have no interest in a dead man.
Ooh.
I'll be wide awake in my big, wide bed, and you'll be wide awake in this prison cell. And our souls will come together, and we'll...
Is that how that works?
And you won't sleep until I'm done.
Midnight. It's 5 a.m.
Oh,
Every day. Because we trust each other.
Not 5 a.m. yet.
Oh, boy.
Gina.
Trust each other. Why do I get the feeling I can't?
I can't trust her either at all.
I mean, you probably can, but the way she just kind of delivers some stuff.
Well, we got Max and Furiosa back-to-back scenes, so...
That's all you were excited for in this whole episode.
No, that was a bonus.
God damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that was just a treat. Oh.
Jesus.
Look at Mosley.
Dark up. Bluer. Sharper. Also from below. Darling, how's that?
You look absolutely terrifying by now.
Finnick.
Lipstick. Fun.
To launch the ship.
Oh. Tonight's the night of their revolution.
Long and terrible journey, Diana. Let me down.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
Mr. Shelby! Mr. Shelby! Sir. Will you be sharing the stage with him tonight?
No, I'm simply here to remind my friend Mr. Mosley of the way the British people is compromised. We'll print that, pal.
Print it.
Wow. Rag.
The Daily Mirror?
I'm just repeating what he said.
As you should know, that Mosley's wife died 6 months ago. So give me your condolences, will you?
Oh.
Tonight, he'll be here with his mistress, who is apparently a lady of some standing. He's given him great comfort in his time of grief.
Oh, jeez.
No, oh, boy.
Arthur made me a promise, which he appears to have broken. I tried my best.
Johnny looking all cleaned up.
Get in. Come on, get in. My brother, Tommy. Johnny Dog. Mosley invited me. He said, wear a black shirt. Here, I said, I look like every other bastard. Lizzie, come on. You're an angel.
Oh, shh.
Look at Johnny Dog's look. Looks like a white. Johnny, take your shirt off, give it back.
Oh, jeez.
And they parties there in Belgravia, and they give me respect.
What do you give them?
Snow and junk from the company. Well, look at your brother. Off he is gone. Off he is gone.
Oh!
Lizzie, you go with Johnny. Johnny, take Lizzie to a seat.
But I don't have an invitation.
Johnny, you're wearing a black shirt. You can do what you like. Go on.
Oh, jeez.
The black shirt, title of the episode.
Go on, dogs. You get me? Drink while you're there.
No, I doubt it.
Oh, no, Tom, look at me.
Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah. Linda, as a Christian woman, you believe in forgiveness. This is when I got back. 2 days ago. Have a look.
Oh, boy.
This be Linda with a new family?
He's a bastard at all, Tom.
Black shirts and jeans. Here we go. Here we
Stand in the middle and do anything, Tom. With a me.
Oh boy. Is that the medicine Arthur needed?
The second they touched.
Oh!
Episode is just nuts.
Oh.
Tommy, we should get out now. Forget this American business. We've got enough.
Not yet enough. Here she comes. Remember to smile.
Never enough. It isn't like he can just retire anyways. People are going to come for him.
Not if he goes to the mountains in the U.S. in the 30s.
Look at these guys.
The future Prime Minister of this great country, Sir Oswald Mosley.
What is that?
Oh, wow.
What a shot. This is a little worrisome.
This is very interesting.
What, are these two into each other? Love at first sight?
That's
Give me a break.
That's what you took out of that.
You are beautiful, Lizzie. I need to impress this woman, so I will act as if she is beautiful as well. Mosley?
Diana, this is Tommy Shelby, MP, OBE, Mr. Shelby, Lady Diana Mitford.
Oswald's most recent and last ever mistress.
Last ever.
Beautiful earrings.
Oh, I stole them from Tiffany's.
Actually, he bought the earrings in Paris. We were in Paris on our honeymoon.
God, I hate Paris.
You prefer Berlin?
Oswald and I are going to marry there, aren't we, Oswald?
But Mr. Shelby, if it's business, Diana is the engine of my enterprise.
It's the modern way, Mr. Shelby.
Yes, we know.
Way.
I am company director. I will join the meeting as well.
But of course you must come as well, Elizabeth. By the way, I really don't like Lizzie. I prefer liberated Elizabeth. She must be part of this. She's been all the way to Paris, so she is a woman of the world. Bravo. Do you know, Oswald's told me everything.
Oh, that line. Considering what just happened in season 5 with...
Yep.
As you can see from this private letter, he is far from a neutral point of view. Look at the bottom of the second paragraph.
Individually, Jews are fine, but as a race, they stink. Elizabeth, do you even know why the bridge to President Roosevelt is so important?
Actually, no. I don't really know much about this business at all. But I have your future husband, so I know lots of things about him.
Oh.
Oh.
Well done, Elizabeth.
Awkward.
Mr. Shelby, from now on, can I call you Thomas?
If you like.
Of course we would. And we are very grateful for your efforts.
But Mr. Shelby, before this enterprise goes any further, you really must do something about your wife.
Look at that shot.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, they love their aesthetic shots on this
Oh,
show.
they're doing the Ain't No Grave, Hold My Body Down again.
One more time again.
Mr. Shelby.
Yes. Mr. Nelson.
Here he is.
I wanted to have everything already.
To working class Catholic boys. Did they mess with you when you were small? Some man in the shadows.
I carried a screwdriver and a blade, and everyone believed I had the power to lay curses.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
First man I killed was a priest.
Look at the size of that place.
That place is huge, and what a reveal that was.
Mm-hmm.
For many years now, I've been working closely with Winston Churchill in many different capacities. I have his trust. He's opposed to the rise of fascism. You, I believe, see it as inevitable. Well, I can give you men of influence who support your cause. I can also offer you a full report on Churchill's strategies.
Oh, what?
He's
All this in return for access to
dangling
South
that
Boston.
carrot.
Yep.
Alternatively, you can take on Churchill on your own without my intelligence, and I could sell me opium to the Jews.
You're a brave man, Mr. Shelby. A war hero, I hear. Every war hero I ever met, they're just someone who wanted to get themselves killed.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Nelson?
I'll think a great deal about what you've said.
Oh, he's got to think about it.
Hey, that's good business, though, if you think about it.
What do I got to do to get you
about it.
into this car today?
Yeah. What
Dude,
can I do to get you into this deal?
They both already know what they're going to do. They are just testing the waters before they actually do it.
no?
That's how I take it.
What's
going on with Ruby?
She gonna be seeing something? What'd she draw?
Oh, shit.
Man with green eyes.
Oh, Tommy's going to flip when he sees this.
Well, and that was who Tommy said his
Ruby.
first person he took out was. A Prussian boy with green eyes.
Ruby?
Oh, what is going on?
I can hear voices.
Oh, no.
What voices?
Grey man.
Gentlemen, Mr. Thomas Shelby, Birmingham South.
Mr. Speaker, I was raised in a family that endured living conditions that would test the morality of even the most virtuous.
Oh, here's your answer.
Yep, here we are.
What would you know about birds?
There's Mosley.
In which slums are cleared, new houses are built with new standards in health and hygiene.
Westminster 245, House of Commons.
I'm gonna call him at work.
Yeah, this is
Time has
really.
come for change. The people have had enough. Open the windows. Let in new lights. Build a new Jerusalem. Brick by government-owned brick.
He's impressed.
Oh, she's not looking good.
Oh, why is she?
Oh my.
Sweaty now.
Oh no. That was blood.
Yeah, Westminster 245. Oh, bang over and over again.
How was the family?
He's staring at me, Daddy.
A man with green eyes.
Stop the voices.
There are no voices, madam.
It's the grey man. Says he's coming for me. And he's coming for Daddy as well.
Oh, what is going on? Oh.
It's the gray man. It's the guy in the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's the battle he's constantly had since season 1.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Uh-oh. What if this is somebody... Oh.
Somebody else. Oh, he had another one of his
seizures.
Seizures.
Oh, yeah, he had an episode.
Yep.
Mr. Shelby. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
No, it explains the bathroom.
Yep. So
Or
this
the
is
tub.
this is
The
the
tub
third one he's had that we know of.
Hello?
Tommy, she's a temperature of 101 and nothing is working. Just get here now.
Is he?
Please.
Is he?
Tommy was like having everything kind of fall into place for him, more or less, and this is
Now isn't it
constantly
interesting that
Listen, Tommy. He said we shouldn't come close to her in case.
Because of what?
When she coughs, there's blood.
it's that
Grace.
Matilda, put me through to the number I gave you for Esme Shelby Lee.
Esme.
Yep. And that's the episode. Jeez.
Once again, no disappointment here.
Not at
None.
all. Not at all.
Like, I got chills just hearing Esme because we haven't seen her since what? Season 2?
Well, season
3?
No, season 4 when
Was it 4? Oh, okay, 4 is
when
when
John
got taken out.
When John got taken out,
Yeah.
and that's really the last time we saw her in the series here. So now, because if you guys remember, of course over the season 2 a little bit and season 3, I know they dropped some little hints that Esme may dabble in some little things.
Yep,
so
may
I'm
have the
curious
gift as
how
well.
Yep.
Her big role is going to come back into this.
Well, I mean,
Is she going to be able to help out the way Tommy thinks? Is kind of where my head's at, but I'm not sure what you guys are thinking on that one.
Well, I mean, it's clear that
to get married.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that Ruby is seeing the same thing that Tommy is seeing in his seizures, and I don't know if make the cut, but like I said, we've seen Tommy have 3. Well, we know of 3 seizures that he had. One on the boat on the way over, not as bad, the bathtub, and now here. So he's had 3 of them. Look, the wild thing with Tommy that like I'm getting out of it is, and we kind of touched on just before the episode concluded, Dave, is that everything is starting to kind of fall into place for Tommy as far as business-wise. Everybody's coming at him, underestimating him, thinking they have the upper hand, but he always has some ace up his sleeve that he's able to play everybody, and we're seeing it the way he was able to play Gina before, the way that everything was working out with Nelson, so to speak. He basically called his bluff. Tommy did with Nelson as far as who he was going to sell to, and kind of twisting everything around right there with, the opium versus the alcohol, etc. So it's just amazing to me that in one scene, Tommy will have everything together. He's staring people down, calling their bluff, people who are way higher power level than he is. And then in the next scene, everything is completely falling apart. And you're like, how is this guy going to get through the next episode? So for me, that was the big thing, just the duality of Tommy's personality, and how one scene he's a complete wreck, the other scene completely in charge like we've never seen before out of Tommy. And it's just wild to me. And I'm looking forward to more of that the rest of the season, because I don't know how it's going to come to a head, but it's got to.
Well, like you're saying, he's getting all these in line. Like he got Lauren, Alfie, and everybody on board. But for me, I thought it was a great introduction to Mr. Uncle Jack Nelson. I mean, you see him like he's a bigger presence.
Yeah, he's imposing.
Yep. So he's so imposing to Tommy. So when they're talking, having that great talk, and they did a great shot too in that huge church that was empty. It was. Like, if this is real, and let me know in the comments if that's a real place. Yeah. That is so beautiful. I would love to go visit there. When we were overseas in Madrid and stuff like that, we saw these beautiful churches and went into a few of them. But I would love to go visit this one, because look at that. It just looks so beautiful. But anyways, back to the introduction with Jack. It was great with their back and forth, especially because Jack wants to think, hey, because I'm selling alcohol, that's legal. Then he comes back with, well, there's actually this, and this that caused death with whiskey. So is that little, like, what I'm doing is right versus what you're doing is wrong. And then they have to switch it, because we saw last episode, that's all Gina was saying. Hey, everything we're doing is legal.
It's
all of it is legal.
Did you guys think that Jack was going to be a little older? Like in my head, I was picturing older.
I absolutely did, because you have
Uncle Jack.
Because you have Gina saying Uncle Jack. That being said,
I'm not saying like Grandpa old.
No,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Because he looks like he might be, late
30s.
He looks like early 40s.
I was going to say late 30s to early 40s, and Anna Taylor-Joy's character in here, Gina, looks to be mid-20s or so. But we do have to consider, sometimes you have families where the children are pretty spread out in age, and then the older children have kids at a younger age. My neighbors had they had a 21-year-old who had a daughter, and then the parents had another daughter. So the
mom was 16, and
the aunt was
21.
Yeah, the aunt was actually younger than the niece. Yeah, so you're my aunt, but you're younger than me. So in some circumstances like this, she could call him uncle, but he might not be that much older than him. But I was 100% expecting somebody in their 50s, maybe early 60s. Yeah,
well, and then but I'm glad. I just want to kind of say I'm glad that this was happening, because again, in my head, and I should have not have been thinking it, but I was thinking, he's probably going to be a little older. But
I felt like maybe
we got this, because it almost makes it feel like Tommy.
Well, I think one of the interesting,
kind of almost
and I couldn't wait to get introduced
he's taller,
to him,
he's a little shorter. I did like how they got that shot in those two.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things that we're getting in here is we're getting all these power plays by, it seems like a handful of guys all in the same age. You have Mosley, you have Tommy, now you have Uncle Jack, you have Alfie. Alfie's. Uncle passed, and then we heard of Uncle Jack. We thought he was going to be older. Obviously, you have Churchill and some of the older people in the position, but it kind of feels like it's this. Okay, here is the next generation of power players, and
on their way up,
and what decisions are they making, and what's this game of chess going to look like for these guys? That's kind of what I'm seeing develop here.
Well, then I was also going to go with. Talk about then Linda being mentioned, and how
wasn't expecting that.
Tommy actually knows where she is. Well, he knows where everybody is. I don't know why we're surprised with that, but just given the letter that she underlined, giving hope to Arthur that he's. What do you guys think? Do you think he'll make the 2 weeks clean?
Hear me out. What if this is another almost dirty play by Tommy to make sure he gets Arthur on the path that he needs him to really be on at all times, which is, that guy who does the real work, like Tommy said. What if it
at
was
least
just
off the drugs?
Is it a fake? Is it a fake postcard?
But at the same time, does he know Linda's handwriting? Because he could look at it and see.
That's
That's
a
only
very good
caveat.
point. That's a very
Granted,
good point.
with Arthur being 3 sheets to the wind,
in his state,
he might not know. So the fact that he's given him 2 weeks to try and clean up, and then he'll send another letter to Linda. I'm just wondering if you guys think that'll actually work.
The handwriting is a very good point. I hadn't thought of because Dave. It's funny that you bring that up because I was like, I wonder if this is a work by Tommy. Like, oh, by the way, because at this point, what's going to get Arthur clean? What's going to get him clean? Ada's been trying to help. Nothing's been working. He's just completely off the rails. And it's interesting. Tommy brought up on the product that because before it was all alcohol and race day, and he didn't want the opium. Now, ironically enough, that's what he's hooked on. But yeah, I was like, this is a work by Tommy. Hey, you gotta get your stuff together for Linda. And then once he gets on the straight and narrow, maybe if he can kick it, then he can come back and either continue a work and just be like, I wrote her again. She didn't write back. Or he could come clean and say, hey, this is what you needed to hear to try to get on this.
Well, on the flip, it probably is real, right? And then they're finally gonna give some type of happy ending to Arthur.
You're hoping for that. You're still hanging out.
I got like a fish hook, basically. Hope I'm still trying to.
No bait on it. Just a fish hook.
Well, no, it's me throwing like grappling hooks. Well, I just got a fish hook for that little hook that maybe they're gonna give Arthur some kind of happiness, because I think it's not even funny It's not even funny anymore with the level of how Arthur is mentally right now with everything, because it's bad. So again,
it's a whole new level.
It's a whole new. I mean, I thought we seen him hit a pretty deep level of down there, but now he is taking it to a whole new level down. So I'm just at this point, I'm glad Tommy acknowledged a little bit there that he wasn't there for him. So I'm happy Tommy did that, because I feel like sometimes Tommy, and it's their relationship too. So Tommy isn't always the best of brothers. Probably never a really good brother if you kind of really break it down, which you have time to do.
He quoted that verse out of the Bible that kind of explained it.
Brothers are an adversary.
Friends versus brothers.
That's actually a good point. That could probably give you a little bit more insight to how Tommy is. But sometimes Tommy does put up that front, right? Yeah. To make you think one way when he's actually thinking this way.
And for a guy who said he doesn't believe in God, he seems to know the Bible pretty well there.
He knows the Bible really well.
But then also, brother, we haven't seen Finn yet since the very beginning of the first episode, or Isaiah. And then we still have no idea what happened with good old Barry, right?
I wonder if Finn.
Well, didn't they have that shot of
the football ref?
Billy.
Billy. We still haven't heard
nothing about Billy or Finn.
Did they not have that shot of Isaiah when
they had them when they're saying their goodbyes to Paul?
Okay. Then that's all we've seen them so far.
Yeah, Finn was there.
Yeah,
they did a run.
But we haven't seen
them since.
Yeah,
and so I got to imagine though that they're going to come back.
Hopefully.
The other thing that look, I gotta acknowledge it. It was so great seeing Tom Hardy back. And
we acknowledge that.
Tom and Cillian just like I said, those guys are so good at what they do. I mean, it's like watching a brilliant artist paint. Watching these two guys work with each other back and forth. It is so good, and a very pleasant surprise to get Tom Hardy in this episode. I like that they're not telling us beforehand in the credits, because that would really spoil the surprise. If I had my way, I would save the credits for the end when we're having the characters. But yeah, the back and forth they had, and again, once again, going back to what I said about Tommy kind of having an upper hand on Alfie's, and they're smoking, and he's like, you can't even stop the guy who's smoking in your presence. But let me tell you this, A, B, and C, we're going to lay this out. Essentially, are you in or are you out? Another one of those deals that he made. And then we go, of course, right from seeing Max Rockatansky to seeing Furiosa in the very next
Best
scene. So
freaking guy.
I was happy about that. One day I'll get these guys
Well,
to
we saw
watch
that-
the original
That he's
3.
really gone downhill too, and then his uncle, who was in Boston, is gone.
Well, Elfie, I thought looked good compared to what he looked in the last season, didn't you?
He had 4 years to heal up.
Yeah.
I thought that was terminal what he had, but
it was interesting that they showed his face as messed up as it was, and I thought, I have a hard time with, recognizing what the time frame was from when he got shot to when we saw him last. But his face was really, really messed up, and now it was just kind of a scar. So I don't know if they were just like, hey, we'll just give him a little bit different makeup, and people are just going to be happy to have Tom Hardy. I mean, it's kind of inconsequential for me. You can look at it and just say, hey, it healed up, know.
But I thought he had a terminal disease.
That's what he said when they were on the beach, and that's why he wanted Tommy to. He
got healed
Tommy
up.
missing.
Got healed
So
up.
I don't know.
So, the one thing that we need to talk about too here is the episodes that Tommy's having. Folks, let me know if I'm wrong. I actually have it's ironic that we're seeing this in the time that in my life right now, because I have a good friend who had seizures, and they just discovered a brain tumor. And in here, Tommy's having seizures. So I'm almost wondering, and if this is a spoiler, then I don't want anyone answering this. Just don't even acknowledge it. Just, acknowledge everything else. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out.
For us,
Yeah, so I'm wondering right now if these seizures are related to a potential brain tumor or not, or they're just seizures that are reflecting something else that's going on in the body. But it's ironic that literally right now, in this time in my life, that a good friend, luckily it wasn't diagnosed with, they were worried it was going to be cancer. They did come back with results saying that we're not going to do chemo. We're just going to have you monitored for the next 3 to 5 years. And he got lucky, probably best case scenario out of that. They found him having a seizure at 2 a.m. and then rushed him to the hospital. So that was a big ordeal. So that kind of triggered a little bit here. So I'm kind of curious if I'm on that path that it could be that, or if it's just something else that's pointing to it. But I'm curious those seizures are should not be ignored.
No, I mean, and with all the chemicals that were used in World War I mean, that could certainly be a part of it. The conditions that Tommy was facing in the war. I mean, he was in the tunnels and everything, and who knows what kinds of gases or chemicals there were. There's always the PTSD.
Yes,
it could very well be something like a physically medical related, like you were saying, with a tumor or something like that that's pressing on the brain, affecting it, whatever. So I mean, it could be all those things,
but he also didn't have one until on the boat back after he found out about
with
Ruby and the gypsies and speaking, saying whatever it was. I thought I had written down
all the words.
But what she was saying, and then saying the gray man is coming with the green eyes. He then had a small one on the boat after learning that information. Then obviously in the tub, and then as we saw just now, and then again it's with him fighting someone in the hole. Where he was in World War I. But there's so many components, because
you wonder if it's almost the fact that his daughter is seeing what she's seeing, if it's some sort of seizures triggered by post-traumatic stress disorder. And I don't know if obviously post-traumatic stress disorder manifests itself differently in a lot of different ways for every different individual and what they went through. I don't know if it would necessarily cause seizures and cause that sort of physical response. That I can't say, but it's interesting. You bring up a really good point, answer that he didn't have those until he was on the way back and did those memories coming back. Is it causing seizures?
Well, I mean, it's probably possible. I mean, look at the shape that Barney was in, or Danny Whizbang, the shape he was in from that stuff. I mean, is a seizure that much of a stretch from PTSD? I don't know.
I don't know. So.
Yeah, again, if we're on to anything,
don't tell us.
Yeah, just pretty please don't tell us, because that might be, I don't know, maybe that is something big, or maybe it's just, you guys are right, it has nothing for a spoiler effect of how the season ends. But either way, I just found that when I was sitting there, I'm just kind of like thinking, gosh, this is kind of hitting home a little bit. And then it reminded me of like, oh, that is something I'm kind of experiencing well, not physically the seizure, but just as one of my good friends. So
yeah, the other thing too that was big for me this episode was that whole conversation with Mosley and Lizzie being in there and Diana and that whole dynamic they had. I certainly get the vibe that
power play.
Yeah, that Diana's more into it.
She's really
dude. And speaking of her, I didn't understand what was thrown at her. It was like a something of sand or whatever that exploded.
It was like that powder.
And then they had the shot with the lights. They had the shot with the lights lighting up Tommy and lighting up Diana as they were looking at each other. I'm like, what is, what's that all about? The symbolism there. So that was interesting. I didn't know if I was jokingly said, like, what is this, love at first sight between these two, seeing each other?
I kind of took it as like both eyeing each other up as targets.
Do you think that potentially Mosley, what was Mosley's mistress's name?
Diana.
Do you think maybe she's with Mosley for alternative reasons as well?
She could be a spy.
Maybe
for all we know.
she's some sort of spy, or she's with him from some other affiliated
she's
party.
High class too.
And if because here's the
she's
thing,
got great connections.
the thing is there's a lot of very secretive stuff that goes on in Tommy's life, but there's people who know about what's going on, right? Like he's told people, like, I'm going to work, I can do the most damage from the inside. And so there is a small circle of people who know Tommy's intentions as far as his associations with Mosley. And I'm wondering with Diana, what if she's doing a different version of that for herself?
Well, Grace was a spy.
Grace was a spy, and it's like, okay, what if the people who Diana knows, they know what Tommy's doing, but Tommy doesn't know what she's doing, and there's this weird, like, hey, we're both in some sort of spy or kind of political power move position with in regards to our relationship to Mosley. So I wonder if Diana's not there just for
it's
romantic.
It could be. I'm having a hard time getting a read on her, but she definitely, the way she threw it in Lizzie's face after Lizzie tried to throw it in her face was a very interesting back and forth that they had.
Lizzie with the final word with that.
I do think she's in it for the power that she currently has, and then she sees that she currently could have being tied to Mosley. So I don't think she's a spy. They haven't, at least in this episode, given me enough to think that she could be, but
yeah, 'cause she's coming across like a true believer, that's for sure.
And then this IRA meeting that was
Laura.
With Laura, that was interesting too, with Arthur stepping up, saying what he said about the dead, and then Tommy basically straight up saying, "Yeah, we'll basically handle you when we need to handle you."
We need you alive.
Yeah, and again, another situation where Tommy had the upper hand and put her in her place, so to speak.
Well, he got those like letters from the president.
Right, he's
Uncle
got all these power plays, because normally we're so used to seeing Tommy behind the 8 ball and like, oh, he's really got to pull a rabbit out of his hat this time just to make it, and he's continued to level up every season, and now he's at a point where it's weird. He's, to put it in a video game term, he's high level, but he's very vulnerable. He seems to have a lot of power, and he knows what's going on, but he's got this weak spot, which is again that other parallel when he just completely falls apart with the seizures and everything that's going on with Ruby. It's such an interesting story.
To swing back to that, I look at this episode right now, the first 2 episodes in, and I see that, like you were saying, Tommy at least has a better building bridge around him with all these items that are going on. But now that the one huge thing now is, because there's always something, now it's on Ruby. Mm-hmm. So it's like every time now it seems like he's handling, finally, big dogs around him. Now the one thing that's, as you're calling it, a big vulnerability, and that, I don't know how else to say that, it sounds kind of harsh, but is Ruby right now, because they don't have he has awareness of what's happening, but they just don't have the solution to fix it just yet. And I'm hoping for Ruby's sake, because damn, having a kid go through that and experience that right now, that to me is pretty heavy that they're putting that kind of responsibility on Ruby right now to like, oh, well, I should say the actor, not Ruby. She's going through it. So the actress that's playing that kid right there, I think is doing very well for what they need her to perform on screen.
Well, and you know, if you watch this episode and if you were to edit out all the scenes with Ruby or Tommy's having problems, you'd be like, holy shit, Tommy's like on God mode here telling everybody what to do if you took those other scenes out. And I think it was you, Oak, who called it out
personal struggles.
in the first episode about him having that duality with the mud on one half of his face. It's like one half of him has it completely figured out and the other half is just still in the mud and can't get out of his own way, I guess.
And the last person he took out was Tommy Shelby.
That was
4
an
years ago.
impressive line, too.
Boom. So this has been an amazing show so far, as you know.
And I do appreciate that they're keeping Aunt Paul
like in
somehow, some way with some voices in there.
Yeah,
and,
it's amazing.
and again, I'm wondering now, are you guys wondering now too, because it's the second episode where we hear Aunt Paul saying one of you are going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
We already know the movie's happening, but I'm curious. Again, don't answer this.
Yeah.
I'm curious if Michael makes it out of the season.
Well, Michael, if
we already know Tommy does just because
shift
of the movie.
somebody else.
I don't even know if
Ruby. I mean, who knows?
Yes, I don't even know if Michael's safe with Gina. That was a very weird interaction in the jail cell there. That Gina had with Michael.
Passion, Quinn.
That was
passion.
It was strange.
Passion and
Strange
love.
is what it was. I don't know.
Passion
saying,
and love.
saying don't forget about me while I'm overseas.
Well, because at 12 and 5, their souls will be
together.
I didn't sense any
furious
threat there,
jumping
though.
souls.
I don't know.
Furious jumping souls.
Yes.
You know, it's not strange. Us. And we absolutely love this show. So thank you for watching episode 2 of this final season. We're loving so much of it. So for Appleton Oak, Diamond Dave, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. Good night, peepee fucking blinders.